Okay, so we're diving into the world of Chris Paul today,
Yeah.
a player who's always
Always
knocking headlines.
always seems to be in the thick of things.
Right, and
On
now,
the court and off.
yeah, and now at age 39 playing for the Spurs, he's on the cusp of something pretty huge.
Oh. Yeah, getting up there on the all-time steals list.
Yeah, he's about to pass Jason Kidd for second place,
Wow.
right behind John Stockton.
Which is amazing longevity.
But here's the thing, he's also raising some eyebrows by questioning how the NBA even defines a steal.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because the rule is a little bit vague when you really get down to it.
Right, what is the difference between a steal and a block in some of these close calls?
Well, and especially when you've got
I mean,
Victor Wembanyama on your team.
I was just going to say, it's like the basketball gods were like, here's the perfect storm to have this discussion.
Right, because with that wingspan,
Yeah.
is it a block? Is it a steal? Who even knows?
So do you think Paul has a point? I mean, should a steal really be just about possession, or should intent and defensive disruption be part of the equation?
It's tough. The NBA prides itself on its stats,
Yeah.
and they've always been pretty straightforward with steals. You get the ball, it's a steal.
Right.
But I think Paul is bringing up a valid point. Like, what about those blocks that immediately lead to a change of possession?
Yeah.
Are those really more like steals in disguise? You know what I mean?
Interesting.
And think about this, if they actually change the rules retroactively.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
that would shake things up.
It'd be chaos on the all-time steals leaderboard.
We might have to rewrite basketball history.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of rule interpretations, we got to talk about that skills challenge controversy during All-Star Weekend.
Oh, yeah. Where do you even begin with that?
I mean,
Do a little...
Paul and Wembanyama disqualified for,
For finding a loophole, let's just say.
shall we say, creatively interpreting the shooting requirements.
Yeah.
The fans were totally split on this. Some thought it was brilliant strategy. Others thought it was straight up cheating.
Right.
What's your take on all that?
It's funny because on the one hand, I can see why people were upset. It was kind of like they were breaking the spirit of the competition.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
Right.
you got to admire their ingenuity.
Right. It was entertaining.
And it definitely got people talking.
It did. I guess it all boils down to how seriously you take this skills challenge. Is it just for fun, or is it a true test of skill?
Right. Is it supposed to be like a lighthearted exhibition, or are we taking this
Right.
super seriously?
I mean, we're talking about All-Star Weekend here.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's shift gears here and talk about Paul's actual on-court performance.
Okay.
I mean, the guy is 39 years old.
Yeah.
He's still putting up respectable numbers for the Spurs, over 10 points per game, 8.5 assists, 1.4 steals per game.
Yeah, he's not slowing down.
I mean, clearly he's still got it. But what I find really intriguing is his role as a leader on this young Spurs team, especially his influence on Wembanyama.
Yeah, I think that's where his real value lies at this point in his career.
Okay.
It's not just about the stats anymore. It's about the wisdom he brings to the game.
So what makes him such a good mentor?
Well, first of all, his basketball IQ is through the roof.
Okay.
He's like a coach on the court.
Hmm.
He sees things that other players just don't see.
Like what kind of things?
He understands spacing. He anticipates defensive rotations. He knows how to control the tempo of a game.
Okay.
And for a young guy like Wembanyama who's still learning the ropes.
Right, with all that raw talent.
Yeah, having someone like Paul to guide him is invaluable.
Makes sense. I can just imagine him soaking up all that knowledge.
It's like a master class in point guard play.
Yeah, all right, so the big question on everyone's mind, what's next for CP3?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
I mean, does he retire gracefully, or does he keep defying father time and keep going?
It's really hard to say. He's clearly still got gas left in the tank.
Yeah.
But at some point, he's got to think about his legacy. Right. Does he want to chase one last championship with a contender, or does he want to stay in San Antonio and help build something special with this young core?
It's a tough choice.
Maybe he'll find a team that's somewhere in between, a team that's competitive, but also has a need for veteran leadership.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me to see him go to a team like that.
Interesting. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all unfolds.
Exactly. But whatever he decides,
Yeah.
he's already cemented his place in NBA history.
Absolutely. I mean, when we look back on Chris Paul's career, it's easy to focus on this steals record or maybe even some of the controversies.
Yeah.
But I think his legacy goes beyond all that.
I agree.
It's about the way he elevated his teammates, the way he commanded the court with his intelligence, the way he challenged our understanding of the game.
Yeah, he was never the flashiest player.
Right.
But he was always one of the smartest and most effective.
Right. So as we watch him navigate this next chapter, I think it's important to remember that a player's impact can extend far beyond the box score.
Absolutely.
It's about the intangibles, the
Yeah.
leadership, the mentorship, the basketball IQ.
It's about making your teammates better.
Right, and leaving a lasting mark on the game.
Well said.
So to everyone listening, when you watch Chris Paul play, don't just watch the ball, watch everything he does.
Pay attention to the detail.
Yeah, look deeper. You might just learn a thing or two about basketball brilliance.
I love that.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for joining me.
Anytime.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning into this deep dive into the world of Chris Paul.
Catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.